everybody. Hello, 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 hello. My name is Linda Murray Bullard. They call me the business plug. And this evening, I am so excited. I am bringing to you about relationship stuff. You all know I don't normally talk about relationship stuff because I'm evidently I'm not good at it. But I have an expert on tonight, and you're going to want to hear what she's talking about. So go ahead, like, share, click the buttons, click subscribe, click whatever it is you need to click so that you can follow us every Sunday here at 7 p.m. ish Eastern time at the Business Plugs Mixer. I want to tell you about First Friday, November 3rd. I'm believing the date to be the first Friday in November. We're having an online meetup, and tickets are already flying off the shelves by people who want to be there. It's a totally virtual event. So, no matter where you are, as long as you have internet services, you can come in and join us. It's a first Friday event. We've been doing that since June. We had to stop for a while. I had a death in July, my sister. And then August and September went by faster than I anticipated. We started back in October. And so November, we're going to have another one. So the last one was hybrid. It was kind of online and in person, but we're doing it all in online. So regardless of where you are, we're going to have meetup. We're going to have this meetup. We're going to do things to help you to grow your business. Last month topic was all about marketing, right? All about marketing. But the month of November, I'm going to dedicate to getting that first Friday, that Black Friday sale together. We're talking about getting more money than you ever have during Black Friday season. That's what we're talking about first Friday in November. You should already be ready, but if you're not ready, we're going to get you ready. On the first Friday in November, online event, free event. Tickets are on Eventbrite. Go and Google First Friday by LSMB Business Solutions, my business, and you can get your free ticket. And all you do is get whatever you like to drink. Come sit down and talk to us, and let's get this business conversation together. So that's my next event. Now, that is, also, if you would like to be in the LSMB, it's called Building Your Own Business. It's a business course. It's 8 weeks. 8 weeks. If you always think, well, I wish I knew more about business. I wish I knew more about business. I'm going to have an online course coming on in November where I'm going to teach you about how to get your business in order, right? And so that link is in the chat, wherever you're watching this video, or you can inbox me directly to get that link. $50 holds your seat in that class, and the class itself is $500, but you have until week 4 to pay. So if you can make installments, then I got you. If you can make installments, I got you. $50 holds your seat, and then you make your final payment by week 4, and you will learn more than you ever thought you knew about business. I tell you, my class had just ended. They were like, I needed all this so far ago, so many years ago. Some of them are new business owners, and some of them are existing business owners that never really understood business. It is I'm using the Kauffman Foundation's Fast Track program, and it is in depth. I've taught co-starters, and now I'm teaching Fast Track. And you have me. At every session. We talk about business. We talk about your business and how to get your business up level. So that link is in the discussion here too. Now that's all the housekeeping. I have nothing else to say about those things. Now I get to introduce CHAMEL Jackson. Hey, CHAMEL, how are you?
Fine, how are you?
I'm good. So look, tell them about you. Where are you located?
I am in Memphis, Tennessee.
Memphis, Tennessee.
Yeah, Memphis, Tennessee, the Bluff City. This is where I grew up, all of that. Went to school in Chattanooga, Tennessee, though. Went to UT,
Go Mox.
Chattanooga, and then went there to get an accounting degree and came back and to Memphis. Didn't plan to stay here long, but I'm still here, but that's
That's
okay.
okay. Hey,
Um,
how it
so
works out is how it works out.
That's how it works out. But I enjoy being in Memphis. It's been good. Memphis has been good to me. But came back, worked a few jobs till I got a job in my actual degree. Found out I didn't like accounting,
Okay.
and so
Well,
went off. Yep, went off into teaching and social work, and I'm in teaching right now. Actually, hey Erica, I teach middle school students right now, so
Okay.
that's where I'm at. And didn't have a plan to be an author either, but here I am. Life. When I was working right after college, I came across a young man that led me to write my first book,
Mm.
which was on abstinence. And then later on, I wrote another book on breakups, which is pretty much what we should talk about today. So yeah, that's the short version of how I became an author.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Life just goes as it goes, right? And we just
Right,
deal with whatever comes the way it comes, right?
right,
It's all about thriving out here and not
right,
just surviving.
right, right.
Yeah, so all of our experiences, they all add up. I was just telling someone the other day that I didn't know this was going to be my line of work. But my whole life I've been coaching and teaching and helping people get to the next level, and didn't know that when I, went to do my thing, that I'd be doing this. So welcome from Memphis. You're the other side of the state. I'm on
Yes.
Chattanooga side, and you're over. Uh, a guy told me the other day that now you can get here in 4 hours. He told me
To
about a
Chattanooga. I
bypass.
think what?
He told me about a bypass. I said, well, do
What?
what? Because the last time I went, it was 6 solid hours.
Right. Nope, nothing more, nothing less. 6 hours.
Yeah, but he tells me there's a bypass now that you can get on, and it bypasses 440. So you just
Wow.
like get half, like 2 hours. You don't have to go to Nashville.
What? I like going through Nashville though.
I know, right? It's that Jackson to Memphis trip. That
It
part of the
yeah.
trip, that part of
That's
the trip
that,
is hard.
it is. It is. It is.
Or it used to be. I haven't done it in a while, but I used to drive out to Memphis. Hey, Kiba. So Kiba's with us. So yeah, Kiba's one of our
Hey.
sisters too. So we met because we both finished the uh Cornell
Cornell.
University. Right. That was
Right.
sponsored by the Bank of America. They paid our tuition so that we could go to the women's entrepreneurship program through Cornell University. And so
Right.
we met there. So talk about, how did you get, so you are a teacher. Shout out to your students from
Yeah.
Chattanooga. Yeah. They're like, oh, wait a minute, Miss Jackson's Miss Jackson's on the internet today. Woo, what's
Say
up? So they'll be talking to you. I'm sure they've tuned in. They've seen your name go across. So we're talking about relationships, and you and I had a conversation, and we talked about, absolutely, Kiba. We are, and we talked about how people, when you in a relationship and they don't all end well, people decide, okay, this is as much as this I can do. Then you have to learn how to regroup yourself. Like a lot of times we lose ourselves in relationships. And so when the relationship is over, we kind of forget who we are. And so you have come up with a process or steps to help people to regain their composure and regain their power after a relationship is broken up. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about the book. Like, where can they get you? What is the name of the book? And then where
I
can
have
they get it?
girl, forget all that.
I like it.
moving moving forward after a relationship ends. And I do have an announcement. You asked where you can get it. As of today, you can now get it on paperback and ebook. So you can
Ah,
get it. Yeah, you can get it on Amazon. If you're one of those people that don't like paperback, I'm not that person, but I know there are people who like Kindle and
yeah.
all the ebooks. That's for y'all, not for me, because I don't. I need the paper. I need to
Hey,
live. I
I'm
need,
both. I'm
and
both.
so
I have as many books in my house as I have on my Audible. So, I'm, I'm one of those. I am.
okay. But yeah, it's available on Amazon. Also my website, www.breakingitdowncj.com. There as well. But when you purchase on my website, you're able to get a signed copy from me, a bookmark, and then whatever. If I want to throw something special in there, I throw
You
something
get
special in there.
goodies.
But
Oh, I like it. I like
yeah,
it.
so but if you get off Amazon, then of course, you won't be able to get it signed unless so happen you live in Memphis and we meet up. We had a signing or something, you get it signed. But other than that,
Absolutely.
yeah, get
So
it to
talk about the
person.
book. So what prompted the book? This
Ooh,
book.
so Yes. So 2018, yeah, 2018, I was had been in a relationship for 4 years and it had ended in June
Mm,
2018. And so I was like, what in the world? Like it's like I saw it coming, but I didn't see it coming. And so I was just like, what do I do? And so I was like, let me find some books to help me get over this breakup, because people say a lot of times people tell you just get over something, but how do you get over it? Like nobody explains that part. How do you do it? And a breakup in your 30s is kind of different when you're in your early 20s. In your early 20s, because well, for me it was because you're more serious and you think about marriage and all of that. So I just was lost. And so I was looking for a book from a Christian perspective. And at that
mm,
time I didn't really see what I was looking for. And so as I was journaling and just trying to find books that I never found, God said, write your own book. Write
mm,
out everything you're doing to heal from this breakup. And
mm,
so that's how the book came, because I wanted to create an honest conversation about what does it look like to get over. And actually, I the first book I wrote, it was supposed to be a two-part book actually. So the original Girl Forget Out There was part one, and it had other women's stories in it because I wanted women to see, okay, these are all their stories, and they're feeling the same way I'm feeling. So it's
mm,
because sometimes we think we're crazy. Why am I feeling this way after this relationship is over? But no, 100,000 other women are experiencing the same thing that you are experiencing. Nobody's talking about it. So that was my sole purpose for writing the book. And then the part two, it never happened like I planned. So eventually, when COVID passed and all that, well, the when the high end of COVID, um, I was I was led to just tell my story. Don't
mm,
include other women. Just tell your story from beginning to end. And so that's what I did. So now that's where you have the new version of Girl Forget All That. Just my story. And eventually I'll, have other women talk about their story in a different way. But that book is just my whole story
mm.
from from 2018 to 2022.
Okay, okay. That sounds. I heard what you said when you say usually when people go through breakups and things, they say get over it, and we all know that in order to move forward, we have to get over it, right?
Right.
But you're providing the how.
Yeah.
You're providing
Right.
the actionable steps
Right.
to help a person work on getting over it. Like that's what
Right.
that, and the fact that you said that it comes from a biblical perspective, because most times people preach stay in it, like you know, if it's especially if it's a marriage, right? People say stay in it, and you've been treated like an animal, but they say things, but no, 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 no. That you need to learn how. If you can talk about it, if you can deal with it. But there comes a time, even in marriages, where it just doesn't work. And so,
Mhm.
how do you regain your composure and move on without this relationship or without this other person in your life? And yeah, having actionable steps that are biblically principled to help you move forward is a good thing, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what has been the takeaways that your audience has come back and said, "Hey, I tried it, I did it." Like, what is your audience saying?
Oh, this one lady, she reviewed my book, and it's on Amazon too. She said it was well, a lot of people say this, and this has been my goal for the last 10 years, to be transparent. She said it was transparent, empowering, entertaining, because it's all those things. She said she everything she said, that was my plan for the book.
I like
And
it.
so it's just good to hear that feedback is matching my vision for the book. And so other people have said it's good to know that I am not the only woman who has experienced this. I thought I was crazy. So again, all the things I said I want the book to be, these people who never met me have said about the book.
I love it.
And so that's just lets me know that this is needed. Every time I run across a woman, older or younger, well, particularly older women, they say we this is needed. Like men say that this is needed, and then a lot of men have also said it's not just for a woman. This is for a man too.
I love it.
So it's been the feedback from me has been very interesting too. So I just yeah, that's been their take on it, and they have thanked me for allowing God to use my story
Mm.
to help them.
I love it. And that's the thing, because when we write, because I've written books as well. And when we write, we have a person in mind, right? Because in your case, it was women who were going through similar things. And when the book is out, it takes on its own character, because you're saying, men are actually saying, hey, I need it too, right? And so I love that books develop their own following or their own audience based on the
Yeah.
content in the book. Right, right. Understanding what our intention is. Our intention, I wrote my book specifically for teen moms. Like,
Mhm.
my whole thing was, yeah, I'm going to help teen moms get empowered, do this thing. And then it got out there, and then men like you said, happened with yours. Men were like, hey, well, that's for me too. And so I got a whole new perspective. So tell me what you've learned from the men who have read your book. Like, what insight have they given you that you didn't originally plan to have?
Um, there are some men who have read the book. There are some men who haven't read the book. They followed my story.
Okay.
Um, they mainly they say that men deal with these things too,
Mm,
and so, and they have all said that they kind of don't deal with the hurt. And I
mm,
talk about that in my book, actually, where I had an experience with someone a man who did not deal with hurt from his past relationship, and now it was trickling off into the situation that we were in. And so that's been one of the things is that they have said that they in the past have not dealt with the hurt, and so
mm,
eventually had to face it, the hurt. And they like that it is very transparent as well. And
mm.
men have stories too. Men have been hurt, and they deal with rejection, and just is they handle it in a different way, which is a lot of times is unhealthy.
Right, and that internalizing, right? Because I
Right.
because I find that men have been taught to internalize, as opposed to, you're not supposed to show your feelings. You're not supposed to cry or say anything emotional. Emotions for women, and all these things. And I had a friend that we were talking, and she said, I found a letter, and it was written about my ex, about some things that were similar to what I was going through. She said it was like I wrote the letter, because it was exactly what I felt in the relationship. And it turns out it was written by a previous person in the relationship with him. That person
Wow.
had the same, exactly, right, because he hadn't dealt with those issues.
Yep.
They had appeared
Right.
a second time by a totally different person, right? Because when
Right.
we
Right.
don't deal with these emotions, and we don't deal with those feelings that we have, and we internalize them, we keep seeing the same thing happen again and again and again. And it's easy for us to say, well, that's them. The women have problems, but everybody can't be wrong.
Right. Right.
And yeah,
Exactly.
everybody can't be wrong. So sometimes it take a retrospective look. If you really want to be the best version of yourself, it
Yes.
takes looking inward. I am always have red flags when I ask somebody about a relationship and they just name the things that the other person did, and they don't admit or take acceptance to the things that they did, right?
Right.
Because they're still looking at it's a them problem. And
Right.
sometimes it's an us problem. It's a me
Yeah.
problem.
Right. Yes. And I talk about how I was very introspective about my role in the relationship.
Mm,
And so it actually could have ended sooner than it should have ended sooner. But I was not um taking notice of the signs I was shown to say, okay, this is done. This is done. Like I felt it being done, but I didn't say it is done. I had
yeah.
I had waited for him to say it.
Mm. Yeah, and sometimes that
Yeah.
happens, right? Because what that is Gladys night, neither one of us neither one of us want to be the
What did I
first.
say? Yeah. Right.
And so
Exactly.
and so you go through that. They don't want to say it, you don't want to say it, and then you stand in miserability, like just miserable. There, everybody's miserable. Life
Everybody's
is not
miserable.
meant to be like this, and you feel stuck, but you're not stuck. You're stuck by your decisions, by your
Right.
choices, But understanding that, and then
Yeah.
so let's look down the road 5 years from now. This has become workshops, and all these people are at the workshop saying how much your book has helped them to regain their composure. Like, what would you like that to look like 5 years from now? What do you like? What would you like to come out of this book in the long term?
Oh, I see, without saying too much, I see I see a conference.
Mm,
Because I like intimate settings, so it's
mhm.
probably will start intimate, but I just see it being a huge conference of women and later men, I'm sure, getting free. Not just 20 some, 30 some, I'm talking 40 some, 50 some, like all of that, because there are some 50-year-old women that are still mad at Michael from 10 years ago. Like it's very real. So that's why this is so important, because you have held on to this for so long. So anyway, 5 years from now, that's what I see: a mass conference of women just coming together to get free.
I love it. I love it because, yeah, there. I mean, if you haven't dealt with it, it doesn't matter about your age, right? Because I look at women with grown kids who are still angry that it didn't work out with their father.
Yes.
And he's
Oh
gone
yeah.
on and married and, in relationships and other kids and a whole new life. And in her head, like I actually knew a lady whose kids were in their 50s and she was still upset.
Wow.
Yeah. The kids were in their 50s.
That's why I had to hear, like, wait a minute, she said the kids. Oh
The
my God.
kids were in their 50s and
Wow.
she was still locked in. And he had married and went on with his life and was living his life totally separate from her for like 20, 30 years
She's lost. That's a lot of life.
until the day she died.
Wow. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So
That
when you
that is
say,
motivation. That's more motivation.
I mean, like I know I can name names of people, and I wouldn't dare do that, but I can name names of people who, for whatever reason, the relationship did not work out. And instead of gravitating toward refining themselves, redefining themselves, they chose to hold on to that hurt, to that pain, and it just eats the life out of them.
It does. It can, well, it can, and it does have for some people. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And so they need this book. So you need to click that link. The links
Yeah,
are
you
in
get that.
whoever you're watching this, click that link. Click that link, make that connection. Like, do what you need to do in order to regain your power because there's power in moving on.
Yes. There is power in moving on. And you talk about sometimes when we lose ourselves, when the breakup happens. I found myself. There's a
Mm,
song, I think it's Sierra or Monica. One of those two people. It's titled I Found Myself. So I feel like I have found myself because of that breakup.
mm.
And so, but I had to do the work. Now it's hard. It's hard work,
It's
but
not a
I did it.
cakewalk. Yeah, it's not a cakewalk. But if you do the work, it's like anything, I help people build businesses and things. And even in that, like I'm a strategist. I'll help you strategize. But the work, you still have to do your work. And a lot of people want somebody else to do their work. Like you do the work and I'll sit over here and let me know when I'm good. And I'm like,
Yeah,
I'm not that kind of coach. I'm definitely not that kind of strategist. Like I'll help you figure it out, but baby, you got to do your own work because I had to
yeah,
do mine. So
yeah,
you have to do yours. So
yeah.
yeah, so the things about it. So what are the symptoms of a person who really should get this book? Who should get this book? Who should be buying this book?
You can be someone who has recently came out of a relationship, or you can be somebody it's been 5 years and you notice that you are people are telling you you're acting certain ways in a relationship, like you talked about the previous couple, that the same things they were doing in each relationship. If you notice a pattern
Mm,
in your next relationship, this book is for you as well. So because you haven't gotten over it,
mm,
like you're still hanging on to whoever in the past, and that person is gone, gone, gone. So that the book is for those who have recently broken up or they're still stuck because what you're doing is not working.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
what you're doing is not working. And then also, if you're newly out of a relationship, you need some kind of a starting point and to get you going.
Absolutely, absolutely. And that's the thing is you have to be honest with yourself. If you can be honest with no one else, like you have to know about the dreams. You have to know about the thoughts that play like a record in your head. You have to know about, you know, I heard this person say, her husband cheated on her and to the day he died. She just played
Wow.
that played that over and over about what he didn't do and what you weren't and what and she said, I just wanted him to take me to a basketball game. And this is an elderly couple, but she was like, I just wanted him to take me to a baseball game. And I was like, so why didn't you go to a baseball game if that's what you wanted to do? She said, well, I just wanted him to take me. And that to be that locked in to where your whole life is centered around somebody who's left it
Mm,
is painful. It's
it
painful
is
to hear.
painful.
It's painful
Yeah.
for me to hear. I mean, you have that loved one that they always talk about the dysfunction in their relationships. And they always talk about that person that's already gone. And you get to hear it because I got to a point where I said, baby, I love you. I love you, but you're gonna have to do something about that, or you're gonna have to stop talking about it because it's killing me. Right. And so this will be a perfect gift. Had I known about this book, had I known about this book, I would have gifted it to her. You know, this is a perfect gift for you because they don't know how to get free. They're locked up, locked in, locked down in this failed relationship, and they cannot see how to get themselves up and back in the game for themselves. And so this is a perfect gift for
Yeah.
someone that you know who's going through some things and just need to refine themselves.
Right.
Yeah.
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 So
Okay.
yeah, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love that you're doing this work, and I want your, like you said, in 5 years to have that conference. Like, can I ask you to send me the link to get the ticket? Because I want to be there just so I can witness this and say, I remember. I
Yes.
remember when she
Yes.
said,
Yes.
this is what's going to happen in this
Yeah.
show. She said it on my show, and here it is.
It may be sooner than later.
I love it. I love it. I want to be there to congratulate you. I want to be there to support you. And I just thank you, thank you, thank you for coming on. And before we close out, so what takeaway would you like for anyone that's viewing this interview to take away with them? And I'm going to give you time to say that without me on. I'm going to step out and let you have the floor. Talk to your audience. And so I'll see you in a minute.
Okay. For those of you who are watching this, maybe you're in a relationship and it needs to end, or maybe you're out of one, just know that you are not alone. That is number one. You're not alone. You're not the only one who has been through what you're going through. Their story may be different, but the pain is we all it's universal. We're all experiencing life. That's what it is, life. Relationships ending is a part of life. And just know that there is a brighter side. You release your expectations of what that healing process may look like, release your expectations of what is in store for you, because there is greater in store, but you have to be patient with yourself, be patient with the process. I know a lot of people have said, trust the process, trust the process. It's hard to trust the process when you don't know what's the next step, but take it one day at a time or 1 minute at a time. That's something that I had to do, um, in the beginning, to take it one day at a time. So just, let everything out that needs to be out. Find someone who you can confide in, a friend. And also, I would suggest getting a therapist, that can, that you can hash out all this, feeling, these hurts and feelings and emotions, because a lot of times, um, friends can be there, but that you need someone with a clinical background that can help you process what is happening when this relationship ends. And so that's what they're paid to do. They're paid to listen to you and help you move on, past this situation, because that's a loss, so you're going to grieve it. And so they are, very helpful in helping you understand that grieving process, which can look different for everybody. It's not the same. So, like I said, release your expectations of what it's going to look like. Know that you're not alone, and know that there is greater on the other side. There is greater on the other side. You keep that inside in your mind, that greater is on the other side. I have spent years working through things from my own breakup, and I experienced that there is greater on the other side. I'm living in the greater. So I'm not just saying this just be saying it. I'm actually living in the greater that I'm telling you that there is for you. So that's what I have for those who watch it.
I love it. I love it. There is greater on the other side. So you're one decision from making it happen. And the decision you should be making is to get the book and to walk through it and then to reach out to CHAMEL Jackson in order to get that help, that support that you're looking for in order to regain your power. So I love it. My name is Linda Murray Bullard. They call me the business plug. And this evening, I'm doing something very different. I'm inviting you to join this conversation about relationships and what to do when they don't go well. So join us every Sunday here at 7 p.m. Eastern Time on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook. And we'll have a conversation again. I'll see you all next Sunday at 7 p.m. And thank you for joining us on the Business Plugs Mixer. Have your best week, everyone. Good evening.